All right, you guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by unpacking my hair that has been packed up since I said I was going to finish doing these braids like 2 weeks ago. And so I'm using this Hawaiian Silky, and I'm just going to use that to kind of comb it out, get it loosened up so I can actually put the braids in my hair. Once my hair is loosened up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a part. I actually decided to do this as two rows. I'm so tired. I'm done with doing these braids. I'm gonna use this edge control to just get my part nice and clean and crisp. And so I'll go back in with the comb once I get it exactly how I want it. This is where it is. It's not actually perfection, but it's good enough. Now I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna make the part for my first braid. I am not doing this as like a brick pattern, and that's because I actually want this to lay a little thicker. If I was just doing like knotless with no, what do you call it, like boho, I might not want it to look thick, but I want it to look thick and full. So I braid underneath. You see, I just grabbed a piece of hair and I'm going right in. I only make one turn before I start adding hair in. I'm checking that piece right there so I could grab the other hair to start feeding that in. I hope this is showing well. It's actually very hard to explain how you put braids in. I want to say that doing the back of your hair, it's all yourself. It's all about the way that you're angling your hands. So I'm just doing that. I constantly push the other piece of hair to the side that I don't want to get mixed in. And y'all are about to see me make the flip. And so this is what I call the flip. And it's basically so I can get my hands back in a regular position to go down the rest of my braid. I'm untangling some hair. I'm going to grab my edge control and I'm going to use that to just smooth my hair down a little bit more, just to keep everything nice and tight and the way that I want it to be. And so then I'm going to continue to add hair. This is the first piece of boho that I'm adding in, and I'm going to show y'all in just a minute the way that I prep my boho hair to make it really last. I use this Freetress boho hair. But once you make a turn, basically to get the boho back to the original position, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to continue to braid down as you pull that piece of hair to the side. And so I'm just continuing to braid down, braid down, braid down. I'm going to show y'all me adding in some more boho hair in just a second. Boom. Here it is. So I'm braiding it down. I'm braiding it down. Again, once I make that third pass, putting it back in that first position, I'm going to pull it to the side. And the easiest way to hold it in place is literally for me to just put it in my mouth. And so that's what I do to hold it that way. And then I'm going to add in that last piece to get it as full as I wanted to get it. I add in 3 pieces of boho hair to each braid, basically. And so you see me doing that. And then in a minute, I'm going to show y'all how I tie off these braids at the end. Okay. So when you get to the end, you're going to use a knot. Some people use glue. I use a knot. You see me pulling this hair to the side. You're going to actually see me do it in slow motion for you in just a second, because it can look a little tricky, but it's not actually that tricky. And you're going to actually do this knot 2 times in a row just to make sure that it's nice and secure. But for now, let me show you how I'm going to do this boho braid prep situation. So I just take out the hair and then I'm going to split it in half and cut it, split it in half again, and then cut it again. It's not that tricky, but then you'll see I have all the pieces that I need. And since it's a bob, it don't take all that. And so here I'm doing a close-up of how I do that knot. And then I'm just doing a close-up and I'm doing it slow for you guys so you can really just see how I do it. I pull a little piece of one of the pieces that are left. I make a knot just like that. That's me making. All right, you guys. So I'm going to finalize this hairstyle by curling the ends. What I'm going to do is I am going to separate out the boho strands because I don't want to dip those in the hot water. And somehow over the course of doing my hair, I started losing my rollers, which is really strange, but whatever. So I hopped on over to the Dollar Tree and I got some rollers. I'm gonna be using these flexi rollers. You really don't need a lot of rollers to just get it rolled up. So yeah. Now, somebody told me that these braid size are considered medium. Listen, if I sat in somebody's chair and they charged me for some medium-sized braids and these parts were this big, there's an issue to be had. There's an issue to be had there. Yeah, they were like, no, those are like smaller, medium-sized. This is medium all day. All day. I don't care. All day. All day. Are my braids perfect? Absolutely not. Are they free? Absolutely yes. So I would just say don't worry about them being perfect. Actually, my braid, I used to braid really, even much better than this. The more you braid, the better that it's gonna be. So practice, just keep practicing. I think sometimes people are nervous to start trying to braid their own hair because it's not gonna look like they went to the salon and got it done. And that's okay, because just think about all the money that you're saving doing it yourself. So that's what I would say to that. So nope, they're not perfect. But again, I was bald, so I wasn't braiding my hair at all for literally months. So I'm trying to get this other roller. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Now that I'm back to braiding my hair, the more frequently I do it, the nicer and neater my braids will continue to look. And also I'm doing them on myself, right? So there's that. So now I'm gonna take these and I'm going to dip them in hot water. Hold on a second. But you want to try to avoid getting this boho hair in this hot water. The water is extremely hot and it'll straighten out the curly pieces of your boho hair. That's what's gonna happen. So just gonna dip it for, a little bit. Have my hot towel here. Not my hot towel, y'all. Have a towel here. Ooh, it's hot, it's burning. I'm gonna leave the roller in. I'm not gonna take it out immediately. And then gonna come over, I'm gonna do this side. Sometimes I'll sleep with these rollers overnight. I won't even take it out. And maybe that's how I lost my rollers, riding around. I wouldn't even be walking around with rollers outside. I don't know what I did with my rollers. But, boom. I'm gonna leave that on there. And so it's actually, touch my neck. It's actually taking me like 2 weeks, y'all. 2 weeks to finish doing my hair. But I think that's cool because y'all are seeing how this non-human boho hair is holding up. It's holding up just fine, okay? Just fine. I would say it sheds a little bit, but outside of that, you can see it shedding right here. But I think it was like $6.99 a pack. So who cares? Let me do something, a little something to these edges. So I'm getting a nice little visual for you guys. Look, she cleans up nice. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't be always going outside with edge control because my goal is to grow these edges back. So a lot of times I'm using like oils and stuff on my edges, not edge control. Even though this one is like, I don't know. They probably say something about it helps your edges or something, I don't know. All of them say that. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if they're liars. But at any rate, I feel like this particular edge control does work well for me. And you can see, like, your girl got that thick, coarse hair. I don't know if we still numbering hairs these days, but mine would be 4C probably, or something more, whatever is more. gonna just use my little edge brush to swoop-de-whoop. Swoop-de-whoop. Okay. Okay. Look, this hair got in hot water. See how it's kind of more straight now? That's what'll happen if you get your boho in hot water. All right, you guys, so now that I have tied up my edges, I'm gonna go ahead and take this out for the sake of, you guys ending this video. And in the event that it's not curly enough, see, it's curly enough. But if it doesn't stay as curled, I can always come back and curl it again. It's fine. You can always refresh your boho, the ends of your braids by curling it again. I prefer to curl the ends of my braids because I think it just gives it a more finished look. I don't like to leave it loose like that. Now I'm gonna get the mousse. Ooh. And then I'm just gonna put it all over the braids, right? Oops, I dropped some on the floor. I'm gonna put it all out and through. I'm gonna get it on all the curly part. Also, pulling your fingers through it like this is going to help with to minimize the amount of shedding. So even just like every week or two, let's say 2 weeks, you could do this. You could just string your hands through it with some mousse to keep the curls fresh and popping, and to kind of just take care of some of that shedding ahead of time, right? You guys, and I think I'm gonna go back to black with my hair. I'm just trying to decide if I'm gonna make a pit stop at another color first. Like, I don't know, purple, nah. I've never just had blue hair. Maybe blue, nah. I don't know. I'm thinking through some things. Maybe ginger. We'll see. I know my ultimate thing will be back to black, but just seeing if I want to make a pit stop first. All right, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna cut off some of these like puffy, straggly ends that didn't really like come out. It's fine. A little here. It's fine. Now let's take off this scarf. I have our big reveal. I already know I'm planning on kind of wearing it like a little side part situation. So yeah, here I am. Let me show you guys the back. And there she is. Boho. For the low, you guys. This is that one piece that got in the hot water. Don't let it get in the hot water. I'm telling you. I might have to end up redoing that one. Just because that's the one. So don't let it get in the hot water. That's a little pro tip right there. Alright, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.